All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Damage Control. This is Mookie, joined with Darth Beaver and Delgarn. And on this particular video, we're going to break down Cosmic Crucible preparations of just giving our initial thoughts and theories of what we want to do offensively and defensively setups as we're getting ready for the upcoming tournament. So it's like a 5-day bracket tournament that they're going to do, and a lot of personal excitement that I have in regards to it. So I'm definitely looking towards something different as far as the teams placements, as far as on who we're going against and things of that nature. And I'm very curious of where I land within the pecking order of TCP placements and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm going to be in what Masters divisions, or I'm going to bump down 2 levels or move up, who knows. But that's what we want to talk about today. So hopefully you guys kind of enjoy this conversation. And let's reintroduce those that have been with us on Twitch. Reintroduce Darth and Dell. Darth, how are you doing, buddy?
Excellent. Good morning.
Good morning. And Dell, how are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing good.
All right, man. Good. And good morning again to those on Twitch. Again, thanks to Baco with the raid. And Zima for your initial shout outs on the chat. So let's see. I have so many stuff up on there. I want to start off on this screen right here. So we got the initial news coming through, and I'm going to read this because I'm kind of uncertain as far as expectation. What am I expecting here? So at least from the initial information, and with thanks to Benny, which is infographics that he's pretty fast on. When the news comes out, he kind of has a nice little one-shot screens of information here. But I believe this is like the room bonuses when we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll start on the 6th side. Yeah, overcharge. So I guess on the room for overcharge is going to be on defense and offense. Special abilities cost 3 more. Ability energy. Ultimate abilities cost 3 less ability energy. And I don't know. So have you dug into his infographics, either of you, to kind of see? I'm assuming, is he putting... Because he has like Morgan Le Fay, Circe, Deathpool, Abomination, Shang-Chi, Archangel, Captain Carter, Jubilee will ult every turn. Is that something that Marvel is setting up for those particular characters?
It's basically he listed the characters that get boosts from the rooms effect.
Okay.
So that's basically making them use their ultimates really quickly.
Okay.
Like those are characters, big characters with three turn ultimates.
Okay. So these are it's like a cheat sheet. These are like the cheat sheet.
They're gonna ult every single turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So in theory, I mean, have you dug down deep on this yet, Darth? As far as, or like at least caught any content creators like suggestions as far as who would be the team to put in room 6?
No, but it's something. It's definitely like Benny's got the right idea what to think about. The characters that are gonna ult every turn or have the ability to ult every turn, and then the other part of that is characters with their specials up turn 1, because they're not gonna go back and make it a turn 3. They're still gonna have their specials on turn 1, but the next time those specials come around, there will be 3 additional turns before they get them.
Okay.
So cool thing is like he's got Omega Red there. So Omega Red, you can ult turn 1 and then special turn 2 and then ult turn 3, which is devastating. Mm-hmm. Like the ults are a big deal from characters like Omega Red.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things that I'm thinking about for offense anyway. For defense, yeah, that list of characters that are just gonna go ult, like Morgan Le Fay, like that's scary. A Morgan Le Fay that ults every single turn is terrifying. That's constant ability block team. Like you're gonna have to control her out the gate. So for defensive would be something along those lines. But for offense, like I said, the characters like Omega Red, the ones with their specials available turn 1, meaning that you'll be able to do maybe a combination like special ult on their first 3 turns if you make it that far. That's the kind of things that I'm thinking about for that room.
Okay. Got it. And then we jump onto the room 5. We got the health insurance on defense and offense. On turn, characters remove all positive effects from self and heal 10% of max health for each positive effect removed. Combining this rule with a safeguard team like Dark Horde or Infinity Watch will be fun. The characters should presumably heal yet still keep their buffs. Also of value are buffs like immunity, speed up, and defensive up, which expire on turn, and whose main use is when the character is idle. The room is a detriment to buffs such as death pool, deflect, evade, and especially offensive up. Interesting. So yeah, so I'm reading all this new, and I guess the main thing is I'm not going to break it down too much into depth here, so that way those that are watching or even on YouTube are just listening to my thoughts being blank as I'm digesting all of this. I guess what I'm as I'm going through all of this, are any of these like buffs rooms from your standpoint, Dale? What do you know of as far as like cookie cutter? I think on the last show that we had on Twitch, you were talking about them being, somewhat lazy as far as being cookie cutter. Is that all within this particular upcoming Ultimate 32 event?
The Ultimate 32 was much more creative than the third season.
Okay.
Yeah, third season is what's shit.
Okay.
It
Gotcha.
pretty much took most of the rooms from season 2 and brought them over to season 3 and added 2 new rooms.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because when I was reading this, I'm like, this doesn't feel cookie cutter. This is all different stuff. I had my
No,
brain
this is
going.
really creative and good.
Mm-hmm.
This is better.
Everyone wishes this was season 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the only cookie cutter thing in this is going to be room 3, where they're going to put in their tangled web and probably 2 web warriors.
Yeah. Oh, there's
What I hear mostly people want to leave them for offense and not put tangled web on defense.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll see that there's no. It's gonna be super interesting.
Okay. So when we started off with the room, and Juicy just jumped onto chat. So good morning, Juicy. Yeah, he's saying outside of 1 and 6 that we were just discussing, the room buffs are too weak to stop anyone. So he's saying everything in the middle is going to be a little bit too weak, except for room 1 and 6. So when we jump over to room 1, this is what it says: when it rains, when a positive effect is applied to a character, increase the duration of all positive effects on allies of that character by 1 up to a max of 3. When a negative effect is applied to a character, increase the duration of all negative effects on allies of that character by 1 up to a max of 3. This will be especially potent for teams that spawn with Safeguard and have characters that go early and gain buffs like Nebula and Gambit. Extending Safeguard is fantastic. All right. So
yeah, that looks like it's all about safeguard and trauma about who does.
Yeah. Yeah. So he said, don't leave Tangle Web on defense. It's a loose condition. Okay. Well, interesting. So that's kind of, an overview a little bit as far as on what to expect. I know there's going to be more information, especially during this dead week, that you'll start seeing the heavy content creators out there making videos of, I'm sure, if not already. I just haven't been on that side yet, kind of looking into all of it. So that's why I wanted to talk about it today here with my buddies. So when I put up the gameplay, this is kind of where I want to start kind of the initial preparations. The previous show that we had, we kind of talked about preparations towards the patch, but we did talk about new warriors, and that's kind of where I want to start back off again in regards to how key, or do they feel like they're going to be something needed? Like when you jump into this big tournament play, you kind of want to have a broader, I guess, options there in your pocket. And we know about the debuffs that they throw out, especially with Cloak's opening move when he gets his turn, right? And so you look at the room bonuses and things like that. Now, to me, I would lean towards the side of choosing offense first and then filling in the defense as needed, right? I mean, that's at least my approach. I mean, is that kind of your approach when you first kind of start setting up your teams, Darth, or what's your initial mindset as far as what you try to plan on?
Like you, I try to think of what I want to use to take out the other guy's big rooms. But I'm also trying to think in my mind, what's the biggest efficiency suck no matter what on the other side? What are the teams that, even if you clear them efficiently for that match, are still relatively inefficient? So until recently, that's been a gamma fight. So I don't know how many fire stars out there with Gwynpool are going to affect. Shit, and will Gwynpool even be dropped by then, maybe? But I mean, are they going to affect that? So in my mind, one of my big teams that I'm going to use, Gamma's probably going to go on defense somewhere. my unlimited team, that's a huge team, but they're probably going to go on defense somewhere. That may be just because that's what I'm accustomed to and that's what I'm used to. And I feel that with those teams on defense, I still have more than enough offense to take anybody else's 6 teams. Because your offensive teams are going to be like New Warriors, maybe for the 32, maybe your Wakandans or your War Dog teams, your Masters of Evil, like Darkhold, maybe Darkhold with Apocalypse. I like Death Seed for offense. So there's 5 teams right there already that I consider top tier offense teams that have a very high value. And then if I'm going to one shot everything, which is what your goal is going to be, especially for this tournament, because you're going to want to win. Then I only need one more strong team to deal with somebody else's stuff, and that leaves me Gamma, and Infinity Watch, and Unlimited, and Rebirth, and then a couple other teams. Whatever I have left to hobble together from there.
And then there's Juicy that just dropped on something. This is his number 2 is what I'm looking at. He came up with his little list as far as teams that he's looking at. He has Infinity Watch. And I don't know if it's in particular order. We'll just label it. So like Infinity Watch, Rebirth, Zemo. And Dale, that's what you talked about too. You've been seeing Rebirth, Zemo coming up?
Seen the higher level players go up against it. I haven't personally gone against it.
Okay. And we'll jump into that. But then he talked about Unlimited, X-Men, Wakandas or Young Avengers, Gamma, Dorm, APOC Code. Oh, those are defensive rooms. So those are his suggestions for the defensive rooms. And I do like that aspect of it too. Oh yeah, so he probably has them all in room. So like room 1, yeah, we just talk about the safeguard, right? So room 1, Infinity Watch. Room 2, let me bring up this other little image real quick as
and room
he's
6,
talking about it.
Yeah, that APOC in room 6 will be gross because you're not gonna get your safeguard if you were going into a team like that. So it just extra hampers you. Like, not only is that a huge disgusting team to deal with, but then the added room.
Yeah, Gamma Dorm. There's those health bonuses when you talk about, Braun and She-Hulk, and so forth. Wakanda in 4, Unlimited in 3, Rebirth, Zemo in 2, and Infinity Watch. So, yeah, let's talk about the Rebirth team because that's an interesting team that's under the radar, especially like within our levels. Because I don't consider myself on the upper. I'm looking up towards the juicies out there. But I have been noticing on some gameplays that are out there on the internet, within Rebirth being a stubborn defensive team, and lo and behold, that's where Juicy has them at in room 2. Now, the question I have for you, Juicy, who is it that gets replaced out of here? I'm assuming it's like, who is Zemo getting plugged in for? Or would you know,
US
Dale?
agent. U.S. agent.
U.S. agents who gets pulled out?
Yeah.
All right. And I'm just looking at my levels on him, wondering, okay, at least he is my lowest level. So I haven't been working him on. Yeah, he doesn't seem to do too much when I use him on the offensive gameplay. But the other ones seem to be more beefy. So he's talking about offense. We'll talk about his offense in a second. But looking at Rebirth, yeah, so it's going to be interesting because my Zemo isn't up to par. And I've been kind of curious and going back at him just because of his opening attacks. Let me see where I have him at. Because I'm curious, jumping over to you, Darth. I mean, have you forgotten Zemo, or do you still kind of leak in any type of gear towards him at all? Or let's see, where is Zemo?
You should not bring up, right? That's my purple thing about niche Zemo. But no, like I got him. He's 6 stars. He's a Victor 16 for me. He's skill gear, and I did him a long time ago for one of the scourges for the skill lane of whatever scourge that was.
Okay.
And I didn't need any skill gear at the time, so it was a super easy buy.
Gotcha.
But I've been happy with him because when you need him, you want him to do stuff, and the bigger he is and the higher level he is, the better off you are.
Okay. Yeah, I think I need to go to him because it kind of raises. I'm starting to get an abundance of skill on the teal materials, and I just don't know who to use it on. I have like this fear as far as like some new other skill team or some other like bio team or something, because I'm starting to get those resources added up, and I could definitely get them up to 16, but the 17 push is kind of where I pause a little bit, but I'll definitely get them up to 16.
You have a couple bio in the new nowhere team.
So bio. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't even look into see what traits they were. So are they mainly bio for the nowhere team or?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my
That's
head.
okay.
I think two of them were bio.
Okay. Yeah, I'll double check that. I'll probably end up diving deep after the patch as far as doing the necessary updates on trying to see where I want to use those trait resources at. But jumping back, I mean, yeah, so the Rebirth team is definitely the team of interest there on Defense League. Those are the ones, that's like the sneaky up team that you want to start working on. Of course, we know the obvious, and it's going to be with new warriors with Gwenpool coming through. But let's take a look at Juicy's recommendations here that he put onto the chat. And what he's saying offensively, you know, the ones that you want to have in your back pocket or at least ready for is the Masters of Evil, New Warriors, Tangled Web, Eternals, Death Seed, Doom, Sakes. What is Sakes? Is that an acronym for something?
It's Secret Adventures Kestrel.
Oh, okay. Secret Adventures Kestrel. Yep. Thank you.
What that is.
Okay. And the plug and play is like Omega Red, etc. So kind of similar to what you're talking about. Eternals, yeah, those are the ones that sometimes we forget a little bit, but they're definitely useful. And
Yeah, I was right.
yeah. But all right. But I mean, the only thing that was kind of sad, I wanted to jump into the Cosmic Crucible. Of course, we don't have practice mode, right? So it's not, we can't practice during this off peak. Can't jump in there. But what's your gut feeling, Darth? You and I, luckily, we just bumped up to the Masters 2, right? And do you think we will stay there, or do you think we're gonna get bumped down?
Oh, we will be barely in Masters 1.
Okay.
We may even be in Diamond 3 or whatever. Same thing happened to me last season. I just climbed into Masters 2, and then new season happened, and it bumped me down to early in Masters 1. And then it took me the whole damn season to climb back up.
Yeah. And what was your last ranking,
it'll
Dell?
be okay.
You'll be okay. Yeah. Well, before we jump into you, Dell, but like for Darth, I'm curious because we're in the same boat, Darth. Do you think it's kind of a blessing? Like, I mean,
I
for something new, I'm okay with it being bumped down a level. Like all of a sudden now I'm all, oh, okay, I'm cool with that because I don't know what the
We're all bumped
expectations
down
is going
levels,
to
so
be.
it's not like
Yeah.
the competition doesn't change. Everybody's bumped down the same amount, so you're still in the same pool you were going to be in.
True.
It's just a little more work to get those in-season rewards.
Yeah.
So I guess that we just right. You got into a new league right before season payout, so at least you got the new season payout for climbing that high, and then yeah, we'll go from there and we'll start back over and do it again. So it's not like you're getting anything positive from it. You're just going to lose a little bit of reward side. Is how I feel. So like we're not facing less competition. We're not going down to what down competition level. Everybody is getting bumped the same amount.
Yeah. And then for you, Dell, what was your final? Were you on Masters 1?
No, I got in there for 1 week and got my butt really kicked. And then I've been on a losing streak for a while. I think I'm in Platinum 2 now. I think maybe Platinum 3.
Okay. We'll see where you land in. I mean, obviously, everything changes up, so we'll definitely all be together, kind of working our way back up wherever we end up falling onto. What I would close with is that the news within the Cosmic Crucible store update. It was on a blog post. There's an update, and on this particular update, what I was curious about with you, Dale, is are you starting? Are you opening up these till gear, or are you hoarding these the gold till gear orbs?
I've been opening them, and I've been getting like crazy luck with the uniques. Like I got Quicksilver's, like 3 of Quicksilver's piece last week,
Mm-hmm.
and then 4 of Kang's piece this week.
Okay,
My luck's been pretty crazy with those lately.
that's
So
pretty
I've been
good.
opening them. I don't see the point of holding them, but who knows?
Yeah, this is the one that you're trying to go after is that chromium. That's the hot piece that everybody wants to get. Now, from my understanding on the news, Darth, I know you're reading it this morning as I did, and I didn't fully cast, but it sounded like they're opening up another row over here on the supplies.
Yeah, we'll read this one.
And they talked about unique. So those pieces that Dell was just speaking of, is that where they're gonna add another row similar to what they did to the war? I don't know.
I'm not positive. I don't. But okay, technically, I would rather have another slot for 17s. So,
Let me make sure I do this before this goes away by
so
accident.
if they add any teal gear availability is a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. But yeah, and as Juicy said, with the it's scummy. They rebalance, in regards to rebalance what they do, and it's just less rewards. So that's kind of where Juicy's take is that they are kind of bumping this down to kind of rework our progress to the rewards is the real true angle to take off of all of that. Okay, but I'm gonna wrap up the Cosmic Crucible segment here. So again, thank you all for chiming in, especially to you, Juicy. Thanks for your thoughts and opinions as far as what you got planning on. I know you've been heavy on Twitch there and kind of chiming in on other people that are going to the streams and giving your thoughts and inputs. So appreciate you and thanks for the follow. By the way, I don't have the notifications live, but I did catch it this morning when I reloaded my Twitch stream. So thanks again for the follow, Juicy, and the recommendations. And to everybody else that's been watching on the stream, thank you. On YouTube, I'm going to stop the recording here, so y'all stay tuned. We'll probably dive a little bit more deep into it as far as what I'll end up doing on the next show is I'll outline exactly what I'm going in with to start off the week within my offense and defensive setups. Try not to copy too much of you, Juicy, but it sounds very juicy as far as your ideas that you have, especially on defense there. I really like that whole APOC code on Room 6, Infinity Watch. That was kind of, I don't want to say no-brainer, but the way they were talking about the buffs had me thinking Infinity Watch too, so I'm glad to see you put that down. But okay, but thanks again, guys. Y'all take it easy, and bye-bye, YouTubers. Bye-bye.